Welcome into another week of the Gridiron Grind. It's Creta and it's Jimmy. It's kind of a week of mourning for the show as the Horns and the Hogs go down last week. In just terrible fashion. Horns in overtime on the road.
Yeah.
Arkansas. The oink doink. Did you hear him? Somebody called it that this week. The oink doink off the right upright.
And Trey, I'm tired of being a part of these plays. Like we had the kickoff against we had the punt return against North Texas, where the guy called, like, everybody thought he called a fair catch, and then he runs it back. And then we have KJ Jefferson with his, I believe I can fly moment, taking off from what seemed like the damn 50-yard line to try to jump.
What is he thinking?
I'm like, dude, you were
trying to jump over the goal line from like the 8-yard line.
Run it. Run over people. No, you tried to Superman.
He must have
I'm tired of being part of those plays, man. I guess, yeah. It was
shocked by that.
80s Wheaties or something.
Shocked they didn't blow the return back dead.
Yeah, I thought maybe you could blow forward progress, stop. It was what it was. We should have won it. Cam Little on that kick. Nothing you can do about that.
Yeah. And then Horns go down in Lubbock.
Told you, buddy, it's hard to win in Lubbock. Even for Texas Tech.
What's even more frustrating about it, Texas led by 10 at halftime, had a 2-touchdown lead late in the third quarter. I mean, it was just reminded you last year when they were beating everybody in the second half last year and double-digit leads and gave it up to Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Baylor. Could be a long season for the Horns again. We'll see. Hogs doesn't get any easier
this week.
They got Alabama.
Yeah, we start the SEC play now. We have Alabama at home.
Still get the SEC.
17-point. Yeah. Dude.
As deep as the SEC this year, you still got to play SEC. It was a week of mourning for the grind after last week, but we were saved on Monday night. What a defensive performance by the Cowboys. Cooper Rush and CeeDee Lamb. Good to see him pick it up. I mean, he was awful to start the game, but he turned it on.
Terrible drop. Terrible wide open drop. I'm like, I'm still not convinced he's a number one guy. I think he's number two. And, number one guys, you got to come up with. He misses easiest catch all game. Wide open. Got the guy beat. Rush puts it right on him. He drops it. But then he redeems himself. He caught that ball and got just bulldozed, held onto it, first down.
Yeah.
Then catches the one-handed touchdown. And I'm like, so you can catch that. Yeah. Unbelievable. Players play. And CeeDee Lamb's a player. But he's got to show up every week for me to crown him number one. He's still got some work to do.
Need some more consistency out of the former Sooner. That play he made in the end zone, it's reminded me all the times he did it against Texas back in his college days. We need more of that, CeeDee Lamb. Noah Brown's coming on, though. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Noah Brown. Get Michael Gallup back. Offensive line. Tyler, we really ragged on that Tyler Smith pick, but he's really held his own left tackle. He might be more of a
Tyler Smith, and then, bringing in Brisket Peters. I like that.
How massive of a human is that guy?
He's just giant. Love it. Just half of being a good offensive lineman is just being huge and just getting in people's way.
He can do that.
Yeah.
So, Cowboys 2-1, behind the Eagles in the East. Only two undefeated teams. It is the least amount of undefeated teams through week 3 of the season since 1972, when the Dolphins went undefeated, and they were the only team undefeated through 3 weeks back then, and they stayed undefeated, obviously. So you got the Eagles and Dolphins, the only two NFL teams undefeated after week 3. Both look pretty good. I still think the Bills are better than the Dolphins long term, but of course that's who the Dolphins just beat. But Eagles look for real, but I still feel like the East runs through the Cowboys, defending champs. Jalen Hurts is yet to beat Dallas. I think you still got to prove it. And they'll get a chance in a couple weeks. Cowboys,
I agree.
It's kind of almost like this is a must-win. You hate to say it early, but looking at the schedule, Washington, they've lost 2 in a row now. But then after Washington, we get them at home, and you got to go at the Rams and at the Eagles. So you really need this win Sunday against Washington. And looking at Vegas, they only have Dallas as a 3-point favorite. A little shocked by that line, especially from what I've seen.
Yeah, I agree. It's a must win as well. Anytime it's a division game, it's must win. But like you said, the Eagles are playing like fire. Big win against the Giants. We have got to come away with this one. And like I agree as well. I think the division runs through Dallas. I think our defense, like we talked about before, it's like everyone's play has elevated since Dak has left. I think we rely too much on Prescott to make things happen. And, we're playing as a more cohesive unit, which I like. And like I said, the Jason Peters addition has really helped our offensive line. And so we got to have this one and set the tone. Like you said, going to the Rams, I think they're beatable. I think we can do that. Just depends on how we play. I mean, Micah Parsons, unreal. I can't every week. It seems like I'm blown away more and more by how good Micah Parsons is.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, I said I don't know if he's the best player in the league because Aaron Donald. I think he's might be the best defensive player in the league now. I mean, did you see that stat they put up every 2 seconds? He beats his block on an average of every 2 seconds. I mean, the guy is just unblockable.
It's 1A and Aaron Donald's 1B.
Yeah, I mean, they made the best maybe offensive tackle in the draft. Of course, he's only a rookie, but he made him and Tank Lawrence put him on skates.
Yeah, he had to pick his jock up off the field, man. They were doing him in. I loved it.
Let me get your take on this. You mentioned it about the Cooper Rush, Dak Prescott debate. Your boy Jerry Jones kind of threw that into the atmosphere last week. And of course, Cooper Rush 3-0 as a starter. In my family group text, big argument Monday night after the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Half my family thinks Cooper Rush is better, just straight up better than Dak Prescott. But I'm on the side. I feel like Dak's still better, but I feel like Kellen Moore is a better play caller with Cooper Rush than Dak. What are your thoughts? Do you think Rush actually might be the better option at quarterback? Just straight up, he's better than Dak. What do you think?
I don't think Rush is better than Dak, but I do agree the play calling is different. It's like you remember when we had was it Matt Castle, Brandon Weeden, and we didn't open the playbook up for Weeden. We opened it up for Castle, and Castle couldn't throw it what seemed to be 30 yards downfield. His arm had just gone. I think the play calling looks a lot different with Rush out there than Dak. And one thing Rush is going to do, we talk about Stetson Bennett at Georgia. Rush is not going to, scramble and make some dynamic throw off his back foot and this and that. Rush knows what he can and can't do, I feel like. So he's not a gunslinger. He's not a gambler. He's not Romo. He's not Favre. He's none of those guys. So his game is completely different than Dak's. I think long-term Dak gives us the better chance to win. I think he's more gifted, but for what we need, sometimes you just got to start over, right? You got to start over. Let's start one play at a time. Cooper Rush being consistent, not turning the football over is what the Cowboys need right now. And honestly, if I'm Dak Prescott and Kellen Moore, I kind of take some notes and go, okay, guys, hey, you know what? I don't have to throw for 400 yards a game and light up Sports Center and fantasy football and stuff like that. Like, nobody cares. We go back to Georgia. Stetson Bennett doesn't care that he's not Justin Fields and he's not, JT Daniels. He's not highly recruited. No, what's he care about? He's got a national championship ring. Why? Doing what it takes, making the smart decisions. Cooper Rush, like I said, he's not a Super Bowl champion yet, but I think he makes the smart decisions. If I'm Kellen Moore and Dak, I take a look at that and go, okay, let's try to do what Cooper's doing. WWCD, what would Cooper do? I think that almost needs to be kind of every play because right now he's playing high level football.
Well, also something I loved seeing Monday, I thought we used Zeke and Pollard perfect. I thought we mixed it between the two of them and relied on the running game in the right situations. gave the ball to Zeke about half the time, Pollard about half the time. And I think they really complemented the passing game really well. So I really thought Kellen Moore was on his A game on Monday night. And I think Cooper Rush, he throws a catchable ball. He really does. He's accurate. He might be more accurate than Dak. There's just something about it. It's a more simple game plan, and he can definitely execute it. And he's executed it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we didn't have any cute reverses or triple reverse or sweeps or something that just gets blown up in the backfield. And it's like Kellen Moore goes, okay, well, I'm not going to do anything cute because I don't believe Rush can do it. And then, what happens when we don't do anything cute? Oh, well, we look good. We move the ball. Our defense stays off the field, and we're able to win a big game that we need. So I would just kind of keep that going. But, hey, that's just me. What do I know?
Yeah.
I'm only undefeated at the video game. So,
yeah. So, anyway, got Washington coming in. They still got Carson Wentz as their quarterback. They don't really worry me that much. I am a little surprised it's only a 3-point. Cowboys only a 3-point favorite. But I mean, Carson Wentz hadn't looked good the last 2 weeks in their 2 losses, and I think with our defense, they're gonna put a lot of pressure on him. And I think he's gonna throw a couple picks.
I think so. He hadn't looked good since that year in Philly when he got hurt, and then Nick Foles won him a Super Bowl. I mean, other than that, he just has not been the same quarterback. And so, they don't scare me. Their defense has always scared me because their line is deep, their line's talented, and as we know, the front seven always makes everyone else behind them better. So that's the only thing that worries me. But our offensive line has played better. So if we can block them, I think it's kind of a repeat of last year when we made Taylor Heineke almost quit football.
Yeah. I think our offensive line is getting better every week. So I think if they keep, they can hold their own. And I think the defense puts pressure on Wentz. I feel like, it's a two score, 10, 14-point win for the Cowboys. I really feel that way. So we'll see what happens. So big one for the Cowboys on Sunday. College football. This is a tremendous Saturday for college football. There are 5 ranked versus ranked games. But then also you have a couple teams on ranked teams going on the road in some tricky spots. Like number 4, Michigan's at Iowa. 18 OU is at TCU. Texas A&M number 17 at Mississippi State. Mississippi State's actually favored in that one. Georgia goes to Missouri, but I wouldn't put them on upset alert, obviously.
Yeah, it's Missouri.
So there are 8 really big games this weekend. Your ranked matchups are number 7 Kentucky at 14 Ole Miss, number 2 Alabama at number 20 Arkansas, number 9 Oklahoma State at 16 Baylor, 22 Wake Forest at 23 Florida State, number 10 NC State at number 5 Clemson. Of those 5 ranked games, who's got the best chance of kind of disrupting the power and getting an upset? I mean, can the Hogs pull off the upset at home against the Tide?
No, we hadn't beat Alabama since Nick Saban got there. And just like that 10 years in a row that we lost A&M, I'm like, I'm taking Alabama until Arkansas can prove me otherwise. I think it's Iowa and Michigan.
I think Michigan. I could see it. I mean, Michigan's a 7-point favorite on the road. Iowa's got an elite defense, but their offense is just bad.
Iowa's got an elite defense, and you know what happens when you let a team hang around. I mean, just like we both witnessed this last week, but you let a team hang around, and all of a sudden something starts clicking, even for one drive, and that's the drive that beats you. And I think Iowa, they turn around, they wave to the hospital. I mean, that might be the best tradition in college football.
Yeah, love that. What's that after the first quarter?
Yeah, they turn around and wave to the Children's Hospital. We're talking red bandana game type stuff for Boston. That's just stuff. It's tough to play. And then you add, like you said, Iowa's defense. Iowa's defense has given up 5 points a game. We'll call it 6 points a game. So, like I said, I could see Iowa being in this game late and maybe a field goal to win. And we know how Michigan, they leave teams around Appalachian State. You let a team hang around, they're going to beat you. I think Iowa.
I think scheduling has a lot to do with it. So Michigan's first 3 games were basically cupcakes, non-conference. Who they play? Hawaii, Colorado State, and I don't remember who else. I mean, they didn't have a close game. their first test, they played Maryland at home last week, and Maryland hasn't been that great. And Maryland, took them to the wire. I think it was a 17-point spread and ended up being a 7-point game. Michigan, it was a fourth quarter game. Michigan ended up winning by a touchdown. I think that has a lot to do with it. Michigan, now they got to go face a tough defense on the road. I'm with you. That could be a good spot to look at maybe taking the Iowa Hawkeyes at home. Oklahoma coming off the loss, Kansas State. And it's one of those games where if you watch that game, Oklahoma was never in control of that game. Kansas State was going the way Kansas State wanted it to go from start to finish. Kansas State was in control. Oklahoma, I think Kansas State got up 14-0 before Oklahoma's offense got going. But Kansas State, their game plan, you could tell. They were in control of that game the entire 60 minutes of that game. And now Oklahoma, they lose at home, first conference game, lose at home. Now you got to go on the road to TCU. Obviously, I think Oklahoma's a more talented team, but you got TCU at 11 a.m. kickoff in Fort Worth. And this is kind of a big game for OU because you don't want to start conference 0-2. Oklahoma's a touchdown favorite, but this could be a spot where the Horned Frogs, if OU's not ready to go, Horned Frogs get them again.
Yeah, and this is, like you said, the first real test for Venables, and they end up losing to Taylor Martinez and Kansas State. And like we talked about before the season, we knew that Martinez, Colin Klein, we thought Martinez was going to thrive, and he did. And now, 11 o'clock game for a game you don't care about in Oklahoma. It's hard to say, well, they don't really care about it, but you're like, okay, Oklahoma should have won that game. Oklahoma feels like they should be probably the best team in the Big 12 and blah, blah, blah. And they lose. So now, like we talked about the hangover with A&M Arkansas and Tech and Texas, if OU's hungover, this has a recipe for disaster with that 11 a.m. kickoff. That's how you beat a ranked opponent, is you play them at 11 a.m. when they don't care. And you may be right. Oklahoma may because they're looking ahead. Don't they play y'all the week after?
Yeah, the Red River Rivalry.
So that's it. Look ahead to Texas
Saturday.
And looking ahead to Texas, get beat by TCU.
Yeah, that Texas-Oklahoma game, that's going to be if both of them win this week, it has the potential because one of them is going to lose if they each come in with one loss. Not to look ahead because they could both definitely lose this week again. But if they both win this week, one of them's got to lose that game on October 8th, and one of them's going to be knocked out, probably the Big 12 chance at a Big 12 spot of the championship. So it's a big one. Everyone's big for them. A&M is underdog on the road. Mississippi State got them last year. It's like a 1.5, 2-point favorite for Mississippi State. What do you think in that one?
I think Mississippi State can get it done. A&M at the quarterback position, especially now that I just went blank. Oh boy, got hurt for the year. Not A-Chain. What's the wide receiver's name?
Smith.
Anaya Smith. Yeah, I was like, it's an A, but it's not A-Chain. Anaya Smith's gone for the year. That is a huge blow to the Texas A&M offense. Again, Max Johnson, best thing he ever did was have a father who played in the NFL. That's about it. He doesn't scare me. Hayes King doesn't scare me. Mississippi State, I think, is going to beat A&M on the road. A&M's going to lose on the road at Mississippi State.
Very well could happen because here's the last 3 weeks against FBS opponents. A&M's offense has not scored more than 17 points. They scored 23 last week, but that was a defensive touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of them. So they've scored basically 17 points 3 weeks in a row. And one of them on Miami was a muffed punt that they basically got first and goal at the 10. So their offense still hasn't been scoring, and Mississippi State's offense can score. Now, Mississippi State's defense isn't going to be as good as the last 3 teams they faced, but you put Mississippi State at home under Mike Leach, and he coaches them up during big games for sure. So, that's going to be a couple good ones. Oklahoma State at Baylor. I think this is going to be maybe the game of the weekend. It's a rematch of the Big 12 championship. Baylor's, again, a slight favorite, like 1.5, 2 points. Oklahoma State comes in undefeated, and Spencer Sanders, 4-year starting quarterback, Baylor has one loss at BYU. I think this one's going to be a big game. I kind of lean Oklahoma State, but it could go either way.
I lean Oklahoma State as well. Spencer Sanders has impressed me this year, the way he's been able to play. And I think I told you last week, I bet Baylor. I said, if they don't do this one for me,
they were in control that whole game.
They pulled it out for me. So we'll have to see when it comes time to pick them which way I lean, but they're on my list.
All right. Speaking of pick them, let's get to it. Picks last week, I was 5-2. I'm 16-6 on the season, a remarkable 73%. I mean, I'm just in fuego right now. I'm
like you said, you're seeing the field, slow motion.
I'm seeing the seams on the fastball, baby.
Right.
Jimmy last week 2-3, 13-10 on the season. You still got a winning record.
Yeah, that's right.
Season. So I'm going to throw some. I don't feel as good this week. This is kind of a tricky week. I thought last week Vegas was off on some of them. This week's I think going to be tough. But I'll start with the Friday night game, 9:30, UCLA hosting Washington. I'm always a big fan of teams at home getting points, especially when it's kind of an even game. So I'm going to go UCLA +3. UCLA hasn't looked great the last couple weeks. They beat South Alabama by 1 point, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Washington's looked great. But I'm gonna take the Bruins at home +3 on Friday night.
I'm gonna stay with that same game, and I'm going Washington on the road at UCLA. Washington played Stanford, Michigan State, and then 2 other teams. Who cares? Way better opponents than what UCLA has faced. Washington's looked good, and I think they're going to look good.
I mean, it's true. They very good.
And they're going to cover that easily. Easily. Washington's going to run away with it.
We had the same argument last week, Jimmy. You were saying Texas, you picked all road teams. Texas, USC, Oregon to cover. And all 3 road teams ended up covering. All 3 home teams ended up covering. Home team getting point, what Brett Musburger, home team getting points was better than that. So I'm going to take UCLA. I'm going to feed that in.
Yeah, but he ain't on this show. I'm on this show.
Jimmy says, take the road favorite no matter what. Okay. All right.
Right.
I'm going to carry my philosophy into Saturday, 11 a.m. I think TCU +7. I think Oklahoma wins. I think they got the better team and they find a way. But 7 points is a lot at home. I mean, especially after that Oklahoma defense last week gave up a ton of yards to Kansas State. So I'm going to stick with the home team getting points. Give me TCU at home against Oklahoma +7.
Staying with the same game again, Oklahoma has got some kinks to work out after Kansas State, and they get them worked out, Trey. Venables has been I bet they slide right out of chairs after the butt chewing they got all week. Oklahoma's going to come ready to play. They're going to be sending a message to Texas. They're going to handle the Horned Frogs at 11. Not going to be close. All those kids are going to show up early and leave sad. Oklahoma covers it.
All right. We are staying true to form. One of us is 73% on the year, so I don't know.
We'll for now.
Guys. For now, it says. Okay, I got my next one. I'm going to go with Kansas. Kansas hosts Iowa State. Kansas is
number 1 offense in the nation.
Number 1 offense in the nation. Kansas is undefeated, 4-0. They're at home. They're 1-0 in conference, playing Iowa State. And Kansas is getting 3 points. Again, I'm sticking with it. Home team getting points. Give me the Kansas Jayhawks +3 at home against Iowa State.
I like it. I am not on this game, Trey, so you'll win this one. So far 0-2 probably. I'm going Illinois at Wisconsin. Illinois getting a touchdown. We know what Brett Bielema's – we know his recipe. It's control the ground. Wisconsin has not looked good. Lose to Washington State, who's probably better than I think everyone thought. But I think Illinois, 7 points. They cover that. I think Illinois owns the ground game. Defense playing better than it should. I think Illinois is only given up about 8 points a game this year. So I like Illinois to cover Wisconsin.
All right. I like it. I saw that game. I liked it. Let's see my next one. Arkansas bounces back at home, 17 points against Alabama. That's a lot of points. Alabama can win that game by 14. Feel good about it, and Arkansas would still cover for me. I think Arkansas bounces back. I think it's a fourth quarter game. Alabama probably pulls away, but give me the Hogs at home, getting 17 points.
I like it, and I hope you're right. Hope you're right. I'll buy you a steak dinner if we win.
Noted.
My game, Mississippi State over Texas A&M in Starkville. Mike Leach, we know what he can do when he's got an experienced quarterback. A&M has not looked good. Should have lost last week. Hopefully they come out, they use an eligible player or something. Maybe we can pick up a win. Backdoor cover on that. But I think this week, Mississippi State at home going to be too much for A&M. They just have too many problems on offense. Losing Anais Smith is a giant blow. They still have A-Chain, but you stop A-Chain and you make Max Johnson have to complete passes. Good luck. That's got Mississippi State written all over it. I think the Dogs handle their business. 3.5 is too. It's not enough. Not enough to give me Mississippi State.
All right, I got one more for you. College. I got two more picks. One more in college. I'm going to go the West Virginia Mountaineers in Austin. I'm heading down to Austin Saturday morning. Going to be there firsthand. I just watched Texas last week against Tech. Get just nickeled and dimed to death. Tech throwing short passes, quarterback run game on third and short, fourth and short, going for it on fourth down. Tech was 6 of 8 on fourth downs. Well, guess what West Virginia does? That's exactly what West Virginia does. They run a lot of quick, short passes. They run the draws off of that, and they go for it on fourth down. They've gone for it on fourth down more than anybody in the country. They've got it 90% of the time on fourth down. So everything Tech just used to beat Texas, they laid down the blueprint. That's exactly what West Virginia does. So they've done through 4 weeks. I think Texas probably wins because it's at home, but Texas I don't think wins by double digits. I think it's probably a touchdown game. Give me West Virginia to stay within the number in Austin. West Virginia Mountaineers plus 10.
I like it. I like it. Mine. So I'm currently in Eugene, Oregon. We're doing a little wine country stroll out here, all up and down the West Coast. Oregon at home against Stanford. I think Oregon just blows Stanford out of the water. Give me Oregon. It's a lot of points. It's 17. Give them to me. I think Oregon's just going to dismantle Stanford. Stanford not very good this year. The Ducks get it done at home.
Stanford's probably got a test or something they'll be studying for. So
they don't even care about football, man. Their mascot's a tree.
Yeah.
It's a Google-eyed tree.
Okay, I'm undefeated. I just probably ruined it, though. I'm undefeated, I think, in the NFL on the Gridiron Grind. I wish I would not have said that. Trey, what are you thinking? Anyway,
there it is.
Dallas at home -3. I got the Cowboys to cover against Washington -3. I'm sure I just jinxed the hell out of that, but Cowboys -3 at home against Washington. I like it.
I like that. I think we beat them. I think we're a better team right now. Everybody's playing well. Everybody's playing at the level they ought to play at every game. So I think we take care of business. I don't think
you taking it down.
I don't think we got anything to worry about.
You offering it up as a pick?
No, I'm not doing that.
All right, you're sticking with your 5. All right.
I got other stuff going on.
Okay. Yeah. Are you done? Is that it for the picks?
I got
college games. All right.
I got one to maybe keep an eye on, and that's Colts at home against the Titans. Titans have some injuries in the secondary that I think Matt Ryan, Michael Pittman Jr. is back for the Colts. I think that's one to keep an eye on.
All right, so you like the Colts.
I like the Colts, man.
Keep an eye on.
Yeah, keep an eye on it. Like I said, if it starts I think if it go, I wouldn't take it no more than, I don't know. I doubt it. It's not going to jump up. That's a big movement, touchdown or something. I think the Colts win by a touchdown. I like that one. Kind of keep an eye on it. Make sure all these guys in the secondary for the Titans are going to be out. And if so, I think you could take that pretty comfortably.
I have one I thought about, but NFL is just it's so tough. You never know. But like the Patriots are getting 10 points against the Packers. 10 points when the average score, the average margin of victory in the NFL is like 4 or 5 points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anytime anybody gets 10 points, especially the Patriots coached by Bill Belichick. So that would be one to watch for me. I'm not going to give it because I don't know if Mac Jones, I think he's out, right? So
Yeah, I
they
was
are going
about
to play
to
a
say.
backup quarterback. But 10 points is a lot, but that's why I'm not going to officially give it. But I do have great news, Jimmy. I just checked our records, and I don't know if it's a jinx, if it's not a true statement.
Okay.
Okay. So, as they say, I gave a false statement here because I did lose 2 weeks ago. Steelers. I gave Steelers +2, lost that one. So I am not undefeated in the NFL.
Good. So the broadcaster's jinx does not apply.
Therefore, the jinx does not apply, and the Cowboys will cover on Sunday.
I love it.
Broadcaster's jinx does not apply when it's a false statement.
I love it. Quick shout out, R.I.P. Coolio. Gangsta's Paradise. Probably had one of the coolest hairdos in the rap game was Coolio.
That was the first it was a cassette tape. First rap cassette tape I ever bought.
I
listened to
my mom.
Walkman.
I made my mom I say made my mom, that sounds terrible, but I really begged and pleaded my mom to buy me that CD. And I didn't want the Dangerous Minds album. I wanted the Coolio CD. And we drove to Target in McKinney. Never forget it. And went up and asked the guy if he had it. He said, yeah, but I wasn't old enough to buy it. My mom said, I'm going to buy it.
Yep.
He said, you know what you're buying him? She said, yeah, I know what I'm buying him. Went home and just first rap song I ever memorized every word to.
Gangsta's Paradise.
Paradise.
Same one.
Powerful song.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Coolio.
10-year-old kids didn't have a clue
what it meant. No,
but
power and the money.
We were walking
money
around,
and the power.
Walking around fourth grade, just singing "Gangster's Paradise." Knew it word for word. R.I.P. Coolio.
Where we spent most of our lives in the Gangsta's Paradise. So R.I.P. Coolio. The rap game lost a legend today.
Hey, sure did. All right, that'll do it. Gridiron Grind, another one in the books. We check us out. We're on Twitter, Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. I'm sure it'll be another great week of picks for me. Jimmy's probably going to start off 0-2, but
doubtful.
You can't teach. You can only lead a man to water. You can't make him drink. So
I've been trying to tell you, man. Dogs at home, not good.
I was 3-0 with home dogs last week.
Yeah, that was then. This is now.
Well, that's true. It's a week-to-week league. We'll see. We might have to do a side wager on that Washington and UCLA game, TCU Oklahoma game.
Bring it.
So, all right, Jimmy, have a good one. We'll catch everybody next week.
You too. See you, buddy.
See you.